still snog?
I do. I do indeed.
And tell me about your first love or your big love in 3 words.
I've got to say it. Can I say pain in the butt? You obviously know who I'm talking about here. Obviously Lisa, but our relationship is taking a while to flourish. But yeah, she's perfect and everything I've ever wanted now. So I've got to say that think some relationships take time, and this one was one of that. But now we love each other, and I'm planning on getting married next year. So all is good. Worked out.
And is there a special song that will take you back to a moment?
It's quite funny because obviously where we're getting married, it's a place that me and her used to go before we had a house and everything like that. And we used to go to a place called Barnard Castle. And I remember we were young, free, had no kids, and there was a song by Jason Derulo called Swallow. I know it sounds crazy, but it was. I remember we having a night out in Barnard Castle, and before we're getting ready, and before the taxi was picking us up, we just used to have that. We're creased, just laughing and dancing in the and it was just one of those songs that, when I think about it, it just keeps coming back to us. It just reminds us of like being young, free, single, and no stresses of the world. Obviously, we've got kids now and stuff, you know what I mean, which are amazing. But that was just our time and our
Yeah.
few years of our life where we could just bugger off on a Friday, come back on a Monday morning, and shut ourselves away and didn't know anybody down there. And it was, that song we used to put on all the time and just have a few drinks and a laugh.
And then, how important do you think music is for a relationship?
Well, there's two ways of looking at this because obviously, if you ask Lisa, I'm the unromantic person in the world. Yeah, sometimes when I've had a couple of beers and that, I can bust out some moves and stuff. And normally she's sitting looking at me laughing. But yeah, I think dance is important and it brings up a lot of emotions. And like you say, with the last question, it can transport you back to a time where things are easier or you've got amazing memories. And I think it all ties into one. So I think it is very important.
Yeah, so dance and music is kind of in one go. It's kind of together in a sense
Yeah, and
to
as
to make it intimacy. Yeah.
as a music producer, like I used to get quite a lot of messages through people saying, "Oh, I love this song," or "It makes us want to dance," or "It reminds us of this person," or "I went to this club and this was on when I met somebody." You know what I mean? So I think it's a
Mm.
universal thing that like music is undervalued at the minute. I think because everybody uses music as a tool. Um,
Yeah.
down when they're up, when they're sad, when they're in love, and it connects to all of these emotions that you have. And I think that's what music fundamentally is. It's a universal language that people can connect to. And I think it's very important in all aspects of life, not just love. It spans. And if we lost music, the world would be a very boring.
Mm. Yeah, very great. Very great. And is there one of your productions that is kind of dedicated to someone special in your life?
It's quite funny because a lot of my music I now ghost produce for other people or remix other people's music, which is like
Yeah.
my kind of what I do. So maybe in the early stages of our relationship, I had a track called "Follow Your Heart," which was it
Mm.
not a romantic song. It was called "Follow Your Heart" because I just started going out with Lisa, but it was a tech trance track which was released on Mark Sherry's label. So it was just the actual track name of how I felt at the time, but it's a harder track. So it's
Yeah.
kind of is inspired by
Yeah.
how I was feeling at the time when I was naming tracks, but not particularly of the actual production and how it kind of makes us feel about her, if that makes sense.
Hmm. But also it's a lovely message. Follow your heart. I
Oh,
think for everyone, it's a good message to give out.
yeah, well, exactly. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this professionally for coming up to 15 years now, and I've always followed me heart, even when I was at university and I did nutrition as a degree. And
Hmm.
all my university friends would probably tell you that I would never spend any time doing my degree. I was always making music, and it was because that's what I wanted to do. Like deep down, you kind of know you know, when you're 16, you don't know what you want to do. So when you go to I mean, some people are very fortunate they might do, but mine was like 16, 17, 18. All I wanted to do was music. But you have other people in like telling you, oh, you've got to get this job, you've got to do that job, and it's, you know, you've got to follow your heart. And I've
I
always,
agree.
and even at times when, you know, everybody has hard times, but you've got to do what makes you happy, because as they say, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah. And is there one song then that inspired you to do production? Is there one special song that got you going and got your juices going?
I know this is going to sound crazy, but I used to watch cartoons when I was little, and there was an old cartoon called the kind of California Raisins, and it was all like, it was like these little raisin characters. I mean, you can check it out after we done,
Yeah.
and it was all like old school kind of music, like Money Money, Lean on Me, Heartbreak Hotel. They're all covers by big artists, but it was put into a cartoon format. So you'd like, I've got kids now and they watch stupid things on YouTube, but when I was young, it was all this amazing music kind of condensed into like a TV program, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think realistically, I kind of I used to dance around the room. I mean, mom will even tell you, I've still got it on tape somewhere at my mom's house. And that was like a really driving force from being 6 year old. It was
Oh,
just thinking, wow, this is amazing. It makes us feel good. And that was from,
yeah.
so I'm going well back. I mean, I'm 37 now, so it's, you know, but I still remember those cartoons, and that is an inspiration of saying, wow, these people, not these people, but this is something that's been created and that can make so many people happy. So yeah,
Hmm.
well back into when I was 6.
Wow. Yeah. It was a calling for you then. Definitely calling. And then we would love to hear what you're up to now, if you can tell.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, 95% of what I do, I work with artists and help people, and you know, do a lot of engineering for people, some mixing for people, producing vocals, and working on some remixes. I've got a track remix that's coming out next week with Janice Robinson, which I've got some tracks to produce for her. Some collaborations with Vasi in the pipeline, who I've remixed for before. Some wonderful productions with yourself, as we've just got back from,
Yes.
which I'm very proud of, and I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
finding those.
Me too.
But yeah, there's a ton of other people who I've got in the pipeline who I can't really talk about because I've got like NDAs with people, and I just help them out. Maybe they might bring me a track and I'll finish mixing it, or
Yeah.
give them advice and master or mix some tracks down. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So yeah, it's busy at my HQ here.
That's good. That's good. That's important. And then I love to hear how the word music make you feel.
It's life, to be honest with you. It's given me the life that I'm living now. It's given me everything that I've wanted. Some amazing people have come into my life, like yourself. Because like I say, we're partners in crime. And without music,
For sure.
I would be very, very unhappy. And some people
Mm.
can't see that. I mean, you know, you're supposed to get a job, you're supposed to do, you know, things to pay the bills. I mean, we're in a very fortunate position where you can make music and make a living from that. But that's come with a lot of hard work. But then if I didn't love music as much as what I did, I would have given up a long time ago. So I've got to say, music is my life. Music is everything, and music has given me as much as what I've put into it. So
Yeah,
I think, yeah, without music, I'd be a lost soul.
that's beautiful. I love that. It's true. I think we all would be. I
Ah,
think we all would be.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh, it's a calling to some people, and I think we've had this discussion before that
Mm.
people, if you're a true artist, you can't do anything else. A job, yeah, people can do jobs, and like I say, I know many people who want to do music, but they do it for different reasons. They want to do it for the fame or for what comes with music. Whereas, as you know me, I shy away from things like this and DJing. Like a lot of
Yeah.
people ask me, "Oh, where are you DJing? Are you doing?" No, I like to sit in my studio and make music and have
Yeah.
a and chill in my hot tub and spend time with my family, which music's allowed us to do. So, yeah,
Mm.
for me. as going back to what I said before, I'd be a very lost person, and music is truly everything to me, and it is my life.
And how would you encourage someone like you who falls in love with music and they dying to do music at the very early stage? How would you advise them?
But this is a very easy question, and I find that, I mean, nowadays we live in in a in a world where access to information is very easy. Whereas
Hmm.
connections, you can reach out to people. Whereas when I first started, we had things like MySpace, and I remember reaching out to people like United Nations, who had the hit "You and Me" and all those kind of tracks, and yeah, so it was kind of networking back in the day. But nowadays, it's, you know, there's still the element of being able to work harder than anybody else, and I think that's my main thing. Is I'm willing to put in the work, whereas
Yeah.
you've got to have that work ethic. Where, you know, I came out of university with a degree in nutrition, and I could have went into that field and settled for a job that, you know, I wasn't really happy with, but made money with. But yeah, I took on jobs working in pubs, clubs, bars, working in nightclubs, just so I could have that extra time to be able to work on music and network. And was willing to put off satisfaction or monetary gain for a good, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, where until I got into a situation where I could actually buy a house and get into a situation where I could make this my job. So it's, you know, if somebody wants to, if somebody approaches me, I mean, I've got a couple of people who are 18-year-old and say, oh, I want to make music. It's, you know, I'll put them through a test and I can give them initial advice. But if they're not willing to put the work in, or they're not hassling and coming with new tracks every week, then that shows to me that
Yeah.
quite isn't quite there. And
No.
me, it's a hard one to answer, because it's, you know, everybody's on different skill levels, and I was completely crap at making music when I was 18. But it's not always the most talented people who make it in the music industry. It's the people who've got the tenaciousness and the ability to work through and put themselves. I mean, I missed out on hundreds of holidays when I was younger, clothes, just to be able to do the job that I love. And then because I'm quite hard when people come to me and say, I want to do this, or you're so lucky, because I know there's not luck
But
involved.
it's
A little bit of luck, but it's
but
the
it is the same. It's in the acting world really, because it is a lot of dreamers. It's a lot of dreamers, and you really see the ones who only dream,
Yep.
and you kind of say good luck to you, or you see the one that actually visualize and will put all in the hard work into it. It's a huge difference that.
No, exactly. And, you know,
Mm,
so many people, and what do they say? I mean, there's that Robbins quote. It's, you know, you got to take action.
yeah.
You can talk a good game, but unless you take action, you're not going to get anywhere in life. Um,
Mm,
and that's a powerful thing that stuck with me, is unless you're going to do something about it. You know, everybody can talk a good game, but you know, and I think the current landscape of music is making it very hard for people to break through, but monetary wise, but also it makes it easier because you've got a much bigger reach to people now. Whereas you can go into
yeah.
TikTok, you see these people who are like, I mean, there's a trend of people now where they're putting the piano chords, breaking down tracks on TikTok, and they're blowing up. So in a way,
Mm.
it's harder in one aspect, but also easier in another aspect. So it depends on, you know, musicians now have got to, as you know yourself, you've got to be a content creator, you've got to be your own marketing expert,
Mm.
you know. But there is ways around it, and if you're wanting and willing to work hard enough, I do believe that you can get there.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Well, lovely to catch up with you, and we'll get working on some more vocals and get some more tracks out. Lovely afternoon.